focus on one thing and one thing alone, and you keep doing that repeatedly, you keep getting better and better at it. Today is a different episode. Well, it's a special episode because in this episode, I'm going to show you the guys who are behind my videos. And that's why I told them to get ready for a pictorial, but actually, I'm gonna call them all over now. I'm gonna call Jardine here and Claude here to stand beside me with their mask off for a bit and then put it back so I can tell you a story about how I met these two guys. Okay, here they are. This is Jardine Serrano, and this is Claude Morales, aka Claude M. Jardine does our video edits and photos and color rendering, right? And then Claude here gives ideas on how to make everything better when it comes to the content, when it comes to photos and videos and everything else. Just a quick story on how I met these two guys. Before I met them, and I was trying to start my own blog. I was doing blogs, and then I've come across 4 editors already. And I came to a point that I already wanted to give up because going through 4 different editors wherein I make content, I record stuff, it's consuming, and then you don't have any output from those guys, it kind of takes a toll on you. But I wanted to give up, really. And one editor lost my external drive, 1 month's worth of editing lost, and, it just takes a toll on you. But luckily, I didn't give up. So here we are. So I'm doing a special episode because I wanted to share with you how these guys make magic behind the scenes for me. You're gonna have to do some more edits because you're gonna explain how you do those things behind the scenes, okay? But a quick story, I met these guys through an event from one of my clients for Fila Philippines. We were doing an event in High Street, I think, right? And then both these guys approached me and asked if they can cover the event for, is that from What's Behind? So Claude here is the founder of What's Behind. So I told these guys, sure, take photos, take videos, whatever you want. Little did I know that these guys would become eventually who they are now for this channel, that they're the editors and they do also the other content for my entire social media. I have another guy who's editing right now. His name is Carlo, but he's doing a great job as well, also for the podcast and such. But how do we start editing? We started editing. If you look back at my oldest video, that was one of the earliest videos that you started editing, right? Yeah, okay. So nag-start sila with sa podcast, and then from there, the thing here is, honestly, these guys are not great when they started. They're horrible. I've seen they're very amateur in terms of their work, and admittedly, I had some doubts if they can do it, but I always look for those that had potential because you can learn skills, but attitude is something that's hard to teach. And these guys are really hungry in terms of being able to prove themselves that they can do better and keep improving whatever their craft is. Claude here wasn't great as an editor back then, right? He's nodding because he agrees. And Jardine here is not even a photographer. Imagine this, my first episode, that if you scroll down to the oldest videos I made, that one took a month just to edit. And now they can edit in just within a day with that lot better quality. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you focus on one thing and one thing alone, and you keep doing that repeatedly, you keep getting better and better at it. So you're pushing the envelope in terms of what you can do. Before, his videos were so basic, it's like something you did on an iPhone, with an app. Now it's international quality when it comes to the edits. I'll put a link here and show his on his Instagram some of the samples that he's done recently. And with Jardine, I told him he was not even good at all in photos. I was probably better in taking photos from him, but I stopped editing photos for quite a while. But he was not even at my level, I think, when it comes to editing photos. But now he's being hired to do photo shoots for streetwear brands and products. And here in Aguirre Advertising Studio, great job, and he's still growing as a photo editor. The thing here is that you're never satisfied with what you have, but at the same time, you recognize the things that you've already done. You don't settle to just from getting from bad to good to better. It's always a better. You're always trying to push yourselves to become better from where you started. And now I'm looking forward to seeing these guys do more as they grow in the chosen career path that you have. These guys are in their mid-20s. In my mid-20s, I didn't even know what I wanted to do in life. I had no idea. Like, I was trying to do probably 7 or 8 things all at the same time. So I was trying can't DJ, do events, sell things, make clothes, doing MMA. Wow. I did so many things all together all at the same time, and nothing really went for me. For me, being able to find something that you're passionate about, something that you're good at, will make you feel like you're not working, right? Did you ever feel that you're working when you're here or when you're doing any of the project? Not really, right? Even if it's really high pressured, it doesn't feel like, it's like a deadline that you have that you need to finish and accomplish something. It's because you like what you actually are doing. Now, when you're not enjoying the things that you're doing, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time for yourself doing things that don't matter to you, even if it makes you a lot of money. Really, it's what makes you get up from bed and makes you excited to do what you're actually doing, because trying to see how you can get better and better with your craft. Can you give me an example how you try to improve your video editing?
I just criticized myself the next day.
Okay.
On the day of the edit, I tried to at least achieve some standard from foreign scene. Then at the end,
So you get inspiration from international
not here
editors. Okay.
not here in local.
Right.
Then after that, after I achieved some standard that been set other scene, then tomorrow I'll criticize it to see, because on the next day on the day that you done your edits, you wouldn't find any flaws on your.
Because if you're not open to feedback from other people criticizing it besides yourself, how would you know if your work is okay or not okay or great? And it really depends. Some people will give you good feedback. Some people will give you negative feedback. Some people will give you criticism that's not constructive. And people always say that, I'm always looking for constructive criticism. But the thing is, not everyone knows how to give constructive criticism. Someone will just say, ang pangit ng gawa mo, or it's, parang luma na yung style mo, ganyan. It's not constructive. But at the same time, you take it still as feedback. That's the thing. So whenever someone says my work is not good, I take it as feedback. I don't see it as positive or negative. I just see it as feedback. How about you? How do you try to improve your craft?
Because it's always the best during that moment. When you're doing it,
Right.
it's the best that you can do. Yung sinasabi ni Claude kanina, na kaya niya pinapanood kinabukasan. Kasi mas makikita mo na yung flaws kapag tapos na yung gawa mo.
Right.
Tsaka may bago ka ng perspective nun after mo siya gawin. So, ang ginagawa ko sa akin, tinitignan ko talaga yung mga gawa ko kung paano ko nung una. Parang tinatry ko lang siya higitan palagi. Parang bago ng bago.
So these guys had adopted what I call the ready, fire, and then re-aim mentality. They get prepared for it, they fire away, and then because it's not a perfect thing that they did, they re-aim, and then they shoot again. And then they criticize themselves, and then they do it again. So it's a repeated process of trying to improve. Some people kasi they find it hard to start just because they're afraid to be criticized by other people. They're intimidated by other people that will say negative things about their work, or some people are just too hard on themselves. No, I'm not satisfied with this, because most people who are perfectionists, you will see them that they have no output. They only have inputs on how they can do it better, but output wise, you don't see that. People are perfectionists will not see great work, because all of the successful people already have done a lot of things that are failures in the past, and those failures are what made them better nowadays. Like the best photographers were shitty photographers back then. The best video editors were shitty video editors, The best vloggers now are, horrible. They're crap when they started, but look at them now. They're all getting better. When you see them, they're great on their 30th video, on their 50th, on their 100th video. The thing here is that you just have to start. What can you advise someone that, has perhaps even lesser skill that you had as an editor back then, as someone that shoots videos back then, so that they would start doing something?
For me, I think you need to study the market so you can see what is missing on the market, then start from there so you can have your own identity when you build your brand or yourself, that you can fill this missing part of the market needs.
Okay. Question is, what can you advise someone who's just starting photography but wants to make it a career for themselves? Like what I advised Jardine back then is that offer your thing for free. As a photographer, if you believe in your skill, do it for free for someone, and then use that as a portfolio to show clients who are willing to pay you for it. So you start off by offering your services for free or doing internship for someone. And then from there, you go on and show other people that, hey, I've done work for this, that, and that. You have to know how much to charge. And the thing is, it should be comfortable for you with the time that you spent to edit it. Doesn't mean that you edited for 30 minutes, you should be paid for 30 minutes work. No, it's the output that we're based. I always say it here that we're output based. We don't have time in and time outs in our office. No one here clocks in or clocks out, right? So everyone arrives here whenever they want, unless we have a shoot, so they arrive 2 hours before that. That's it. But other than that, on a normal day, people would come whenever they want to come. What would your advice be to someone who's just starting out so that, they can get better
Just like what you said, what I did was offer my services for free.
for free?
Then I didn't use that to offer it to client that this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I used it to get feedbacks, so how I can
To get
improve on
feedback.
that. So from there, so my advice would be just to start, then get feedbacks from people, even though,
And then
though
put your
even
work out there, right?
yeah, put your work out there so you can get feedback.
I've seen you share your work through your social media, sharing what you've done for brands, and now brands call on you to do their shoots. It will just grow in more from that. Even your confidence level will improve because when some people would say, of course, some people always say, it's crap, it's ugly, but there are people who say it's nice, it's good, and that gives you motivation to do better than what you did yesterday. Because if you settle for the word "puede na," then you're just doing work because you should be proud of your work. If you're not proud of your work and you put out something that's puede na, you're gonna come out with work that's not even half creative. It's not exciting. It's mediocre, to say the least. What I'm pointing out here is that you just have to start. You have to start somewhere. Don't think that if you want to start shooting photos, that you need a better camera. Only if you can buy this lens. Only if you can buy. He started with a crappy Sony 6100 with a kit lens. You know how hard it is to use a kit lens because of the limited things that you can do with it. But you make do with what you have, and then from there, once you get better, you're gonna deserve things that are in the same level as your skill, and then you will get better and better from there. It's not an excuse that you don't have the best lens or the best editing tool, or you don't have that skill yet. If you don't have the skill, Google. You can search for them. You can search YouTube on how to online. There's free tutorials, courses to take, and take inspiration. This is where getting a mentor would be good because I'm sure these guys talk to a lot of people who are good in video editing and good in photo editing. How they do theirs. For sure, they will share their expertise and ideas, and then you take on those. So the thing here is that you don't want to copy from just one person, because if you're a copy of one person, you're just going to be the same and trying to replicate that person. What you want to do is take the best elements that you can get from one person that inspires you. Take his editing style, take his angles, take how he color grades this one and everything else. Take elements that you like and put them all together. That's what's gonna make you unique. Everyone here, what I call, has a unique selling point. You don't want to be someone like a Swiss Army knife. You just want to be a knife, because if you're a jack of all trades, then you're not gonna be a master of one thing, and you want people to go to you because you're great at video editing, because you're great at photos, or you're great at something else. Focus on that and that alone. Don't try to do so many things. It's not impressive if someone says I can do everything, because for sure that guy that does everything cannot do anything great at all. If you're focused on doing so many things all at the same time, then I don't believe in the skill of that person. But if someone says I'm an expert in this and that and this only, then that's someone to look out for.
Like sa amin before, so parang lahat ng video gusto namin pasukin, kahit ano pa yan, event coverage,
Yeah.
kahit product shoot, lahat. Pero kailangan mo talagang mag-focus Like yung ginagawa ko ngayon, na product shots na lang, hindi na ako nag-take ng mga events, ganun.
It's like photographers. There's wedding photographers, there's event photographers, there's baby photographers, portrait photographers. Some are great in product, because with products you need props, and you need to fake some things. Like you have to make gelatin ice to make it appear like it's really ice that doesn't look like it's melting. But the point here is that photography, there's so many types of photography you can specialize in. With video editing, there's so many types of video editing. Pick a niche and focus on it. There was one student of mine who asked, he's in fitness, and he says, I want to specialize in one thing, because if I specialize in everything, all types of exercises, then I won't be known for it. So he focused on kettlebells. He's now highly sought after for being a kettlebell coach, not a dumbbell coach or strength coach, but kettlebells. Focus on your niche so people will recognize you for that. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's the best advice that I can give siguro is don't settle for less. Don't settle for what you see on the scene or on the market. Just be different and study the market and do some research before
Yeah.
you execute.
And then when you execute, don't be afraid to put it out. Put it out, and then, don't be too hard on yourself, because you can't put out anything that's really perfect. Things will never be perfect. If you're aiming for perfection, nothing will come out of you. If I aim for perfection in any of my videos, that's why all of my videos, you'll see a lot of flaws, and that's okay. But the thing is, I put it out there. I'm not afraid to be criticized by anyone of you who's watching, or, us reading. If I get the grammatical error in what I did, it's fine. I'm not afraid to be criticized. criticized for, not pronouncing things correctly. I mean, we're all humans, so we're not perfect. Don't be hard on yourself. Just let it out. Creativity stems from being imperfect. When you're not perfect, it shows the creativity. Just like in paintings, a lot of paintings are not perfect, but then it looks perfect because of it not being perfect. The same thing in any creative process.